Hi, I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of a voiceover today. I'm going to do the best that I can. Our voice didn't come out in the last recording. So here we go. I'm actually cooking a recipe from the Cook Hearty cookbook today. And this recipe is going to be the slow cooked balsamic lamb shanks, which is on page 59 of the Cook Hearty cookbook. So what I've already done is prepare a few of the vegetables. I've chopped up some carrots and I've chopped up the celery and some onion, and I've also turned on the slow cooker ready to go. So what we've got here is I'm just doing it with four lamb shanks, which the recipe does say. I bought the lamb shanks from Aldi and they cost me $5.50 for two, so it was about $11 recipe altogether, $11 for the meat, which I reckon is a pretty good price. So I'm just going to cut off, or actually I've been cutting off a little bit of the fat prior to starting this off the lamb shanks. That took me about 5 minutes, but I'm just cutting a little bit off this last one. So as you can see, there's not really that much there to even worry about now that I've already done that. So once that bit's cut off, what I'm going to do then is, if she hurry up and gets that off, so the bit of sinew, okay, so that's done. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a slit in the meatiest part of the lamb shank. Okay, so cutting the slit. Oh, actually I weighed the lamb shanks and they were close enough to the recipe size, about 230. I think that one actually worked out to be 250 grams, that lamb shank. Okay, so I've slit down the lamb shank in the meatiest part, and I've prepared some cloves. So I'm just going to stick a clove of garlic in each of the lamb shanks as we go along. So that's one. The meatiest part, another clove of garlic in that one. And I'll continue to do that with the rest of them. So I just think the garlic adds a bit more flavour as they're roasting in the crock pot. And you can either eat the garlic after it's been cooked or you can just pull it out, depends on what you like. And I'm just going to fix up the last one. Alrighty, so we're just about ready with the lamb shanks. Okay, so we've got that. Now I've heated up the sauce, the fry pan I should say, and I'm just going to pop 4 of the lamb shanks into that, and I'm going to fry it off as the recipe does say. So I'm just going to cook them off for about 5 minutes or until they're browned. Okay, and while they're doing that, I'm just going to read through a little bit more of the recipe. So they're just about ready, and I'm going to end up popping the lamb shanks into the casserole dish, which has been on for a little while. So here we go. Just reading through the recipe again to make sure I know where I'm up to. Okay, so I'm just wiping out the fry pan to get rid of all the fat that was in there, because we know the lamb shanks do carry a fair bit of fat. Okay, so in go the lamb shanks into the crock pot. Alright, in they go. And then the next part of the recipe says to wipe the fry pan out, which I will do. Okay, so I'm wiping out the fry pan. Wasn't much fat at all from that. And then I'm going to pop in, I used actually 1 red onion and I use 1 brown onion. I just like to mix the 2 up. So I've put that into the pan, and I didn't even use any extra oil in that pan. I've just left it as it is. So I took the 2 teaspoons of olive oil out of that recipe. And this is about 3 carrots that I've cut up, so just finely diced. And I've got about 4 stalks of celery that I'm adding into that. And that celery actually wasn't on that recipe. I've just added it in just to expand the recipe out a little bit more, so some more filling and healthy foods into that recipe. Okay, so we can do that. So in goes the celery. And then I'm going to just let that fry off just a little bit. So just stir that around. I don't know what I'm saying, but if I could lip read, I could tell you, which is quite funny. Okay, so obviously I'm adding in some salt and pepper into the vegetables, and here comes a bit of the salt. So just a little bit of salt, which is going into that. Give it another quick stir. And remember, this recipe, it truly has only taken me a couple of minutes just to, cut up the vegetables, stick the garlic in the lamb shanks, and then I'm just going to now put the juice together to put into the vegetables. And then I'm just going to put it all into the crock pot as we go along. So the next part of the recipe is telling us to add in 1.5 tablespoons of flour on top of the vegetables. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so here we go. So we're adding 1.5 tablespoons of flour, and the voice will be coming in very soon, so hang tight, and I won't need to voice over for much longer. Okay, so it was 1.5 tablespoons of flour that I added into the vegetables. So obviously that's going to be a bit of the thickening that will go towards the lamb shanks at the end of the meal. It will thicken up the juices. And now I'm going to put together the last few ingredients, which is going to be combining all of the juices and then adding that towards the vegetables. So I'm just going to start to measure out some of the other ingredients. And it looks like I'm going to stop, and I'll talk to you later. Stop in there. Okay, so I've got that going. And I'll fill that with 2 cups of water. So 500 mils into my measuring cup. And what else did I say? And now tomato paste, okay? So we've got 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Just a little bit of a stir. And then we're also going to add in pasta paste, okay, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, okay. So I'm just going to pop that into there. Let's see from that. Alright, so I'll just stir the vegetables around just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we've cooked that off. Now let's pour that into the vegetables. And then it also says to use 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. Okay, so let's measure in 1/4 cup. So 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. So I'm just going to pop that in there as well. Alright, so leave that off. And then, what have we got next? Okay, so onion mixture and bring to boil. Remove from heat. Okay, so we're just going to let that boil off for a minute or so. And then I'm going to place that into the lamb shanks, and then we've got our dinner and it's ready to go. Okay, so that will cook down and reduce. And after tonight's meeting, we'll be able to come back and have lamb shanks for dinner. Okay, so stay tuned for the finished product. And if you're interested, on page 72, it tells you the page. Page 72 of this booklet, of our Cook Hearty recipe booklet. 72, you've got sweet mash and cumin. You've got cauliflower, potato and parmesan mash, and you've got all these different mashes if you wanted to go into that and do that as well as a side. So beautiful, so we'll see what happens. And stay tuned. What I've done actually is, so we've cooked all that recipe from the Cook Hearty, but I've also got a really favourite old recipe that I've always followed. It's just a basic braised lamb shanks recipe, and in this one they've got fresh thyme leaves. So I don't have any thyme leaves, so I'm just going to put in a couple of bay leaves into that. Okay, so I'm going to mix those into that. And the other thing is, just to give it a bit more juice as well, I'm going to add in, I've got a little bit of leftover gießen, so I'm just going to pop in about 75 mils. so 3 pro points worth of white wine. Okay, so I think I can afford to do that on this recipe. So we're just going to add an extra 3 pro points on top of the total, and it should be all good. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this off now. So I'll just let that cook down for a little bit. I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to place that into the slow cooker. So hopefully it won't splash everywhere. Let's see if you want to go. Okay. That's in there, ready to rock and roll. So that should, it does say to cook for a few hours, but we'll see how it goes. So maybe by 7 o'clock, so it should be on for about 4 hours and feel good. Okay, hi. Come home from a Weight Watchers meeting. It is now nearly 10 past 8. I'm starving, and thank goodness I prepared the lamb shanks last night, cooked it for half the time, and then I put it on before I went to my meeting tonight. So again, I've cooked the lamb shanks out of the cook hardy, and my darling husband has done some mashed potato for us. So on our Weight Watchers scales, it actually does have mashed potato, and it's got a little bit of margarine in it, but we'll go with butter. So I'm just going to pop that onto the plate. I'm going to go with 3 pro points actually. Okay, so I'm going to reduce that down a little bit. So that would be my serve. And then I've got my tongs, and then we're just going to pull one of the lamb shanks out tonight. So I'm just going to go the smaller one. Okay, so one of the lamb shanks. And I'm just going to put some of the carrots and the juices over the top of that. Okay, so how good does that look? So 3 pro points worth of mash, and if I just pop that back down again, and we go back to page 59, I think it was 59, somebody help me, yep, so slow cooked balsamic lamb shanks, and the pro points value was 9 for those, so plus the mashed potato. So what do we got? 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pro points, and I did add in a little bit of white wine into that. So it'll be 13 pro points for the lamb shanks. So happy days. Thank you.